As people start ditching their masks, some parents are wondering whether that makes kids more vulnerable to COVID-19. Noelle Brennan listened to parents' concerns and took them to an expert for advice.
3 kids, Evie, Asa, and Dawson.
The learning curve must be steep, but moms and dads eventually master the art of not losing their children.
Yeah, we have to hold up like how many kids do we have eyes on? 1, 2, or 3? And we got 3, so we're good.
Abby Ward and her husband Mike roll with the parenting punches.
Guess who's getting baths tonight?
Even the one that hasn't hit in generations.
But yeah, they have a COVID testing right down
there,
the tents down there.
Colorado is loosening COVID-19 restrictions, and people who are vaccinated can ditch their masks.
So yeah, it just seems still a little unclear.
But Abby worries about her kids, too young to get the shot.
I think we're both really weary of what's going to happen now that it seems like the floodgates have just opened.
You know, it's not just the parents that are feeling this way. The physicians and healthcare providers are also concerned because our children under 12 are the vulnerable population now.
Dr. Pyle Coley is concerned about physical and mental effects on kids.
It's really going to confuse kids and send a lot of mixed messaging when their parents can take that mask off. But the kids under 12 have to still put the mask on. They still have to be careful about washing their hands. And it's going to be hard for parents without modeling that behavior.
Don't throw sand at each other, okay?
Abby knows some behavior is out of her control, like who decides to get vaccinated.
It makes you wonder if people are being responsible and doing the right thing.
Just one more thing to keep track of, on top of 3 kids.
All right, let's boogie.
Health officials say it's possible we could see more COVID cases among children. While kids may not get very sick or even show symptoms, they could pass on the virus to more vulnerable adults, especially those who still have not been vaccinated. The number of new weekly cases of COVID-19 in children has dropped to the lowest level since late fall, according to some new data. Nearly 49,000 new pediatric cases were reported last week. Health experts say that is the lowest number of weekly cases since late October. However, they also say that children represented nearly a quarter of the new weekly cases. As of May 13th, over 3.9 million children have tested positive since the pandemic began. New data from the CDC reveals COVID vaccination rates are lower in rural areas of the U.S. Researchers looked at vaccination numbers from mid-December of 2020 to mid-April of this year. They found about 39% of adults in rural counties had received at least 1 dose of the COVID vaccine. That's compared to almost 46% of those in urban areas. Experts say the gap is concerning because COVID cases and deaths are higher in rural counties. Stick around. We'll have one more look at your Tuesday evening weather planner when we return.